Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gourmet and Grapes, our first exploration and conversation between a chef, an Epicurean, and a winemaker. So I clearly didn't write that because I've got a feeling that the chef is George Jardine. I've got a feeling that the winemaker is Jacques Nelson from Jordan Wines, which makes me the Epicurean, which in my household means that it's the person that eats the most. But welcome. Tonight is lighthearted. Tonight we're going to have some fun. I've resisted the temptation so far to tell you all some Scottish jokes, but that could still happen. But tonight we're going to have some fun, and hopefully many of you have ordered in the Jardine restaurant food box. I hope that you've got it in front of you. Hopefully many of you have ordered in the Jordan wines, 2 of them. I'm about to crack open the Chardonnay, which Shark is going to tell us about. This is the 2018 barrel fermented Chardonnay, just to make sure it tastes okay. It's going to lubricate the vocal cords, and it's going to give us a little bit of cheer tonight. Well, firstly, cheers to everybody out there. Cheers, everyone. George, Shark.
Cheers. Already cracked, man. Tastes pretty good.
It's tasting pretty damn good. So this is a Stellenbosch Winery publication tonight, and basically we're talking about the intersection of food and wine in our great region, the fact that Stellenbosch has risen through the ranks, through hard work, great personalities, wonderful food, to be recognized as the culinary capital of South Africa. Now, those of you out there that might not be sitting in Stellenbosch would understand that perhaps some great chefs in Joburg would like to contest that. Fair enough. And perhaps there are 1 or 2 chefs making more than toasted cheese sandwiches in Cape Town. Fair enough. There is also another region down the road whose name escapes me that also makes some pretty good food. But I have to say, over the last 5 years, Stellenbosch has risen through the ranks, certainly in the Eat Out Awards and many other awards, to be amongst the greatest. And so tonight, hopefully, we'll be proving some of that to you. So I'm going to hand over now to Chef George. He's going to take us through what he's got in his box tonight, and hopefully give you some handy tips about putting it together. And let's enjoy it. George, are you ready for us?
Thanks, Mike. I remember when I first came to South Africa, there was a DJ, I think it was 5FM or something, and every Friday night, it's What's Hot in Derek the Bandit's box. And then he would play his top tips, man. And every time I pack up these boxes, I think about that. I think what's hot in the Jardine box. So let's have a look. I'm actually quite nervous because this is the first time I've actually looked at it after I've packed it. And I'm a bit worried maybe I left a couple of things out, but let's see. Okay, so.
George, I just want to remind you that this is a family show. So let's just keep it nice and tidy tonight, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Look, you get some napkins, Mike. Napkins help keep it tidy. Okay, so in our box tonight, I'm going to put it down here, then we're going to zoom in close for our so you guys can see. But we start off with a ash ciabatta and some dips. There's a pork cheek main with cauliflower and a bit of gremolata crust on it. Honey roasted sweet potatoes. I mean, there's just so much food in this box, man. This is like the best deal ever. But what I'm going to show you guys and what is going to go exceptionally well with the Jordan Chardonnay is a prawn risotto. Can you believe it? You get a risotto in a box. These days have changed. So I'm unpacking this. So you're zooming in there. Look at that. Look at all this food. Okay, there is 6 of us here, so it is a 6 people box.
So for all of you that are looking at this wonderful feast being unpacked at the moment and haven't got it in front of you, well, shame on you. But if you do want to replicate this example, it is available. You can take a look at restaurantjardine.coza, or you can even send an email to info@restaurantjardine.coza for your upcoming weekend and the weeks going ahead, so that you can replicate this.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, Mike and anybody who's listening, I mean, people are scared of risotto, and they think it's, you know, they think it's difficult to make. But actually, when you buy a Jardine box, risotto is really easy to make, because all you get your little prawn butter packet here, if we can zoom in, and you get your little packet of risotto. All you need is a stove. I'm using an induction stove purely for the camera, and then we're ready to go. But the risotto, we're specifically tonight not only drinking the Chardonnay, but we're pairing it with the prawn risotto. Maybe Jacques could give us a few words about this wonderful Chardonnay.
I was going to give you a few words about the risotto, but I'll leave it up to you. Yeah, Mike's got the Chardonnay in his hand there, 2018. It's a lovely barrel fermented, not a 9 yards, but 2018 was a great year. It's the Old Mutual Trophy winner. It was amazing wine, and it's lovely to pair with risotto. Hopefully George is not making a Scottish risotto. I don't know what's in a Scottish risotto, but hopefully that's a normal one, so everyone can enjoy that.
And a Scottish risotto would be deep fried.
Deep fried, okay. Sounds lovely. McDonald's, hey.
Okay, so you can see here, let's zoom in here. Now, ideally, you would make risotto from scratch, you know, but even in restaurants, that's difficult. So we've half cooked the rice in an amazing, intense prawn stock. There's a bit of tomato in there. And then, sorry for all the packaging, but it is the sign of the times. Then we've got the prawns. We've got a bit more of the prawn stock, some butter, and some zucchini. And that's all it's going to take to make your delicious starter. So, Mike, you want me to go for it, or you want to tell us those Scottish jokes?
Well, I just want to know if the Jordan Chardonnay, or at least a few glasses, is going to make you a better chef. Because right now the drinking seems to be a little bit slow. I feel like I'm the only one in this program that's actually consuming the beverage.
Yeah.
I had a bottle before, so it's fine.
That question after I've drunk more wine. Okay, so let's do this. Let's switch on the stove, if we can. Normally my assistant would switch on the stove.
Jacques, tell us more about the Chardonnay.
Just a bit on the more formal side. The Chardonnay is a barrel for 9 months, where it stays on the lees. Everything is barrel fermented, and we add about 10% of the tank fermented wine into it. Goes through Merlot. It's a couple of barrels that's natural, but mostly inoculated. Yeah, and as we taste along, we'll decide 8 months, 9 months. 2018 was 9 months in barrel, just short of 9 months. 50% new oak, 50% second fill, and then, as you said, 10% tank fermented added back into it, just to add a bit of freshness. Yeah.
So would you say that this wine is more rugby player or supermodel?
Well, after this glass, Mike, you look like a supermodel. And yeah, so I think it's more supermodel. There you go.
Yeah. Jack, you pick every grape individually for the barrel fermented Chardonnay, isn't it? You don't pick punchy.
Every grape individually, and we put it in the barrel. It takes forever. It takes 3 months to pick all the grapes. So
but this is a pretty serious bottle of wine. How much does this cost?
I'm not going to talk price. You're going to have to ask Taya about price. But
I mean, it's absolutely delicious.
200 grand, but it's a stunning wine. And like I said, it's an Old Mutual Trophy winner. So it's one of my favorites, my go-to wine.
Got it.
We're gonna have all
So
my
it's-
other favorites just now.
That's like the prawn risotto is my go-to snack. You know.
It looks pretty good. So we're gonna have to give some commentary to this risotto.
Okay, let's. Okay, I put the packet with the prawn butter in. You don't need a lot of heat to start off with, and then I put the rice in. It's that simple. Look, and then we're just gonna. You don't want to break the kernels of rice. You just want to ease them out. Be gentle. You know, I mean, it is an Italian dish. You've got to give it a bit of love.
So George, is the risotto part of the main course?
No, the risotto is the starter. So let me, whilst this is happening, when it's happening, let's zoom down here. Did we get a good look at what else is in the box, man? Okay, so the main course is, we've got pork cheek, yeah, with cauliflower puree, pork jus, gremolata crust. This you just put in the oven for 15 minutes or 20 minutes to heat up. Then we've got sweet potato that's been baked in a honey butter with thyme. The thyme comes from my garden. I picked it myself. And I only pick it when it's full moon. Because when you put thyme in, it's full of flavor.
Are you serious?
Yeah, of course I'm serious. Yeah. Or is a Scotsman ever not serious? Okay, and then we offer options. We offer options with our boxes, which is quite strange. You know, well, not strange. It's unusual. But look, this is it's a cake. Comes from the East Coast. It's on a smoked potato puree with confit leeks. You just pop this thing in the oven for 30 minutes. Hey presto, better than any fish and chips you've eaten your whole life. And there's no chips. Okay, so let's. We need to come in close here. If we can avoid the steam. Okay, so you can see everything is mixing together.
No,
every single grain of rice is happy.
George, I'm still struggling with your comment about picking your herbs during a full moon. I'm just not quite sure if I should be taking you seriously or not.
No, it is serious. Thyme flower is based when the moon is full. It's got something to do with gravity, and I think wine also has a bit. You know, it's like red wine. If you drink red wine in the full moon, it's full of fruit. That's why.
George, I think you're speaking of Wales. Full moon is for werewolves. And there's a difference between full moon and mooning while you're picking your herbs. It's a family show. I just need to make it clear.
Yeah. Shark, have you guys got any biodynamic full moon stuff going on at Jordan Wines?
Yes. When it's full moon, the moon is out. We're normally asleep at home. And we work during the day. So no, like we do a bit of we do the no sulfur range, but I mean, and we only spray when it's necessary, and we do some controls of like mealybug controls. We do with some different beetles, just control it, but not full biodynamic. But we don't spray unnecessary. Only spray we need.
Do you not pick the grapes for the 9-yard Chardonnay? I thought you went out and you picked that naked.
But that's our secret, George. Not for everyone. Hopefully there's on camera.
So this wine, this Jordan Chardonnay, I mean, I think if you go back to the days of heavily wooded Chardonnay and how the world kind of rebelled against that, and then everybody suddenly started drinking unoaked Chardonnay, and that became the trendy thing to do. I mean, this wine completely threads the needle and finds a perfect balance between a deft touch of oak on this full-bodied Chardonnay. I think it's absolutely delicious. We're going to have a little chat after the show, Shark, about some mates rates.
We can organize something. Yeah, I think the fact we do the 9 yards, which is very not heavily oak, but very wooded, and that's a style that people like. the barrel fermented is 50% new oak with a bit of tank fermented, and then we do our unwooded Chardonnay as well. So we got the balance right, and then the Jordan barrel fermented we're having now is right in the middle, and that works perfect for most people. It's not over oaked, it's not too little, it's just smack bang in the middle. If it's very cold, the oak pronounces itself quite nicely, and when you drink it slightly warmer, it's a little bit less oak. So depending on your dish, you can control it with temperature as well, and it fits in perfectly.
A little splash in the risotto also wouldn't be completely out of order.
Yeah, you can try that, man. I don't know.
It'll mix later.
A little splash in the chef.
Oh, well, the little splash in the chef helps, definitely. Okay, so
give us an update, George. How's it looking?
Okay, come in. Let's have a look.
Oh, looks amazing.
Okay, so I mean, what is risotto? Risotto is saucy, delicious rice. Okay, so you can see the prawn butter that we've added with the zucchini and the prawns. It's moistened it up a little bit. Now, in the box also, there's a little sachet of parmesan that you can throw in. But you know, I think this needs a little bit of butter action going on here. But you know, everybody's got butter in their house, so you buy the box. I don't have to give you 500 grams of butter to put in your risotto, you know, but you don't have to put 500 grams in. So I would put a couple of blocks in like this. Here we go. Now, what that does is emulsifies with the stock that's in the risotto and makes it more saucy. Are you picking that up there? Can you see that, Mike?
It looks great. I can almost smell it.
I think by the time the next virus comes around, I'll be able to make this risotto and pass it through the screen like this. There you go, Mike. Have a taste. That's amazing. But unfortunately, you're not going to be able to taste this. You're going to have to buy a box.
Damn it.
So let's hit it with a bit of temperature.
So George, have you now that the lockdown reality that you're cooking food to be delivered in a box for people to put together in their own home, have you had to change your cooking style quite dramatically, or have you been able to keep some of your old favorites in the box?
No, I mean, I think we can, being professionals, we can almost give the guest the same experience as being in the restaurant in a box, you know, with, I mean, the instructions come, as long as you follow the instructions, then is it as good as going to Jardine restaurant? I don't know. People seem to enjoy eating in their houses, man. I definitely enjoy eating in my house.
Yeah, look, I think there comes a time when eating at home is going to get a little bit old. For me, that time was about 2 months ago, and I hope my wife's not listening to this. But for me, one of the great joys of life is going out to restaurants. So let's get rid of lockdown as quickly as we can.
You can obviously drink as much as you want when you're home, but yeah, if you can't get wine, that's the issue. So you need to be able to get wine.
You find it a parmesan?
Yeah.
That looks nice, George. Looks very nice.
Now, what is the difference? You buy a box of Jardine food. Let me switch this off. You buy a box of Jardine food, and you get the same components that you do at the restaurant. But what is the difference? The difference is that we spend our whole lives trying to make our food look as pretty as possible, you know. And I think that's where people struggle. So this is what I'm going to show you now. Can you zoom in on the or fall over? Is it good on the plate? Are you right on it? Okay, good. So what do you do with the risotto? Well, first of all, you buy a sexy plate. That helps. Don't look at that. Okay, then we go right into the middle of the plate.
Yum.
Okay, and that, for me, a risotto, you've got to bang the plate. You've got to make it flat, man. You know, when you eat risotto in Italy, it's never a pile of risotto. It's flat. It's delicious. And then
that does look bloody good. It sounds like your cameraman's on the life support system in the background there, George. What's that beeping?
I'm going to unplug it now because I'm finished cooking. I'm still here though. Don't worry. Okay, now.
And did Alfred make it?
This doesn't come in the box. I actually went next door to my neighbor and I stole these, but she's a friend of ours, Saskia. So if she's watching, Saskia, thanks for the nasturtiums. You just give them a little bit of clean. Nasturtiums in Chardonnay is like a match made in heaven. And prawn risotto.
That's a new one for me.
You put them on there. I mean, people grow nasturtiums like it's just something, it's like a weed or something, right? Nasturtiums are delicious. You got to eat them. So put it, does it look good? If it doesn't look good, don't put your camera there. And then you grab the good old microplane. Every household's got one of these things, man. Who uses a grater? Okay, look how sexy this is. Microplane. Grater. Microplane. Grater. Yeah. Okay, go for this. This one. This is good. Okay.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by True Earth's Home, where you can get a special deal on a micro grater.
You get it.
Mention George Jardine and get 10 Rand off.
It's not a micro grater, it's a microplane.
Microplane.
It
looks like
Microplane.
Okay, there we go.
It's all pretty flat.
I think I cheesed it too much. We would wipe the plates. But because we're at home,
so I think that looks amazing.
Hey, I tell you what,
what does it taste like?
Shall we taste it?
I think so.
Well, George, shouldn't someone else judge it? Where's your wife?
I think we need to. I need to cut. My posse is here tonight, so I'm going to call the posse for a taste. Oh no, they're quickly putting their makeup on. Get in here.
So is the perfect combination for this a glass of Chardonnay? What about red wine with risotto? Is that completely out of the question? Hello, ladies.
No, maybe a Cinso or a Pinot or the Merlot. I mean, a risotto with a richly braised meat. Okay, zoom in on the faces of delight. Oh, your makeup looks amazing. Oh.
Hi, ladies.
Okay, the cameraman's coming. If he enjoys
Okay, so what's the verdict? Could we have a couple of words from the gallery, please?
Amazing. Delicious.
Okay, now I have a sip of Chardonnay.
Yeah.
How easy was that? And that was like less than 5 minutes.
That was amazing. And
yeah.
Now, George, Shark has also got a second wine for us tonight. Also from Jordan, as he is not completely surprising. This is the Jordan Blackmagic Merlot, which looks pretty snappy. Estate wine 2017. So Shark tells me it's like Jordan Merlot, but only better. It's quite delicious, off the charts. Are you going to tell us a bit about this, Shark?
Yeah, it's it's only about 10 times better than any other Merlot. It's got the Blackmagic on it. This wine is grown on a farm on top of the hill, very close to the Chardonnay blocks. It's doing so well. Thank you, George, for that. Your head's still shiny. I can't see anything.
Sorry?
Nothing. No worry. Eat your risotto. Yeah, it's made in a more darker style. It's not typical Merlot in the old days where Merlot was slightly green and herbaceous. This is more in a dark fruit, more chocolatey style. And the Blackmagic, the name, there's lots of little bits of black tourmaline found in the block. All the wives out there would love to get their hands on all the tourmaline to make some nice jewelry. Even mine is a jewelry designer. She likes going there and picking some stones up. Yeah, I mean, you don't get any flavor from the tourmaline in the wine, but it's so black, dark, and fruity, and it just shines through. You think about it immediately if you know about it in the vineyards. Yeah, and this is going to do very well with George's next dish. It's not over-expressive. It's just enough black fruit. It's not over-oaked. It's only about 40% near oak, and the rest second, third full. Yeah, very well integrated.
It's delicious. So, but I'm intrigued by the name Blackmagic, man. Is that when Gary was going through his voodoo phase?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So is this a supermodel or a rugby player?
That's definitely a rugby player. It's called the Springbok female rugby team. How's that?
Yeah.
Got it. I've got no comment.
Okay.
By the way, that I see somebody from Jordan has commented on Facebook that the Chardonnay is 210 Rand a bottle for everyone out there in Wineland. You can get it on the jordanwines.com website, online shopping, 210 Rand. That has got to be one of the greatest bargains of the year. Quite delicious. Now, George, you've got something else up your sleeve, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, Jacques said my next dish, but the reality is my next dish is my dinner. So I don't want to cook it now because my posse here needs to eat, you know. I mean, but there it is in the packet. Look at it. Pork cheek has been roasted with thyme that we picked at Full Moon. Bit of garlic.
Blackmagic.
Onion, sliced on the cauliflower puree, roasted cauliflower. It is going to be amazing with the Blackmagic. And I'm going to try it. And if it's not amazing, I'm not going to tell anybody. Okay. It's going to be amazing.
That's very honest. And how long is that? How long is the pork cooked for?
Sorry?
How long is the pork cooked for?
The pork is cooked for, it's about 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours. Depends on the size of the cheek. And the temperature is top secret. I can't tell you the temperature. It's between 100 and 180. We do that. But I mean, when you get it in your box, you put it in the oven and it's like 10 or 15 minutes and it's ready. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, I feel
so
like
we don't.
This here. Is there any point for restaurants when the boxes are this good?
So now that you've got an off-consumption and an on-consumption license, George, what have you taken advantage of that? Are you putting some wine in your boxes?
Yeah, this week we're pairing the wines with Kapsik. I mean, the Steidlers are our neighbors at Jordan, so you know, and it's a family and it's a wine that we've loved and supported since we've had restaurants. So this week we're supporting them. We're serving the Shannon.
Which wine?
With the Prawn Risotto and the estate raid with the pork. And
wow.
We're doing on Sundays we're doing a Jordan box, and our next Jordan box is on Father's Day, which will be paired with. Well, Sundays is difficult because, just now we're not sure if we can sell wine after Thursdays, so Sundays is difficult. I think we're just going to sneak it in there, and if anybody catches us,
don't worry, there's nobody watching. It's fine. And now tell us about, talk us through the drill. If somebody out there that's watching the show wants to order the box, they can send an email to info@restaurantjardine.co.za. What are the lead times? Like if somebody wanted Sunday lunch, when do they have to order by?
Sunday lunch, last orders is 5 o'clock Friday evening. During the week, like today, we had a couple of latecomers came in today and ordered for today, and we like good restaurateurs, we make a plan and we sort them out. A day in advance is good for us. That works for us.
And how often are you changing the menu, George?
The menu changes every week. Yeah.
So there you go. There's no reason to just be ordering from Jardine once a month. You can order 4 times a month and get something different every time.
Yeah, definitely. You could probably order the same thing.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Exactly. So we're gonna start wrapping up the conversation in another minute or two. If anyone's got any questions, you can send it through in the comments at the bottom of your screen. They'll come through to us. And George is waving his napkin at me, which means absolutely nothing to me whatsoever, except that it's some cheap branding, I think. Some cheap commercialism from Jardine Restaurant. Charles, tell us what is the perfect occasion for the Blackmagic Merlot? Other than Halloween.
Well, for me, Blackmagic's always good at lunch, early dinner wine. You'll switch over to Cabernet when you have a heavy steak. But yeah, any lunch, light lunch, or any day drinking, afternoon, evening. I normally have a glass before breakfast. It just gives you a bit of a kick, and it goes on while varying. Just before 7 is a good time in the morning.
It's a delicious wine, absolutely delicious. Great. You have to look pretty hard to find really delicious Merlot in South Africa, but when you find it, it's world beating. And this is quite delicious. We've got a question here from the Wine Girl, Cape Town. Hello, Wine Girl, Cape Town. The question is for you, George. Do you have different options, and how much? Can you order different portion sizes?
We have different options. So the bread and the dips and the starter, there's no option. You just get that. We have an option. We've got a meat option, a fish option, and a vegetarian option for the main course. And the dessert option is not an option, because the dessert option. So our first 2 weeks. Oh shit! Okay, that's somebody's somewhere. I just broke a dessert. Check this, Mike. Ooh. Before I drop it, it's that Blackmagic Merlot, man. It's doing it.
That looks good. Yeah, that's sexy.
It does look a bit like the bone on snowman's poo, but it's sorry. Our dessert options this week, we've got lemon trees in our garden, so we made lemon curd. There's a pavlova with lemon curd and candied lemon zest, and we've got a guava tree that just keeps dropping guavas like you can't believe, man. So invariably the dessert comes from our garden. But it is handpicked by the wife. And I, as a point of principle, I pick all my fruits naked.
So,
well done,
so full moon. So I just want to get this straight. You're out under the full moon picking guavas in the buff.
While mooning.
Nothing better, man. Our pool is Blackmagic. You can just jump in there and have a plunge while you're at it.
Is it
my goodness. You know, Shark, I don't know about you, but when I'm listening to George, I only really pick up one out of every 2 words, but that's enough. I mean, it's classic. Imagine if I understood the rest of it. Okay, so we're coming to the end now. Shark, do you have any closing comments before we wrap this thing up and let everyone go and watch their soapies?
No, I just saw as a comment what's my favorite wine. Always definitely Chardonnay. That's why we make so many Chardonnays, because we love Chardonnay. We've got I think 6 different Chardonnays. Another one coming soon. A bit of a Foras in it. So yeah, that's my go-to wine. Yeah, and then Merlot is second in line. Always.
Jeez.
So George, you want to like comment?
Before you close up, I want to give you a little secret about Jacques Nelson. You know.
No, don't.
last year we shared a birthday. So it was Jacques Nelson's 21st year at Jordan, and it was myself and Louise's 10th year having the restaurant there. So we had a party together. But in 10 years being at Jordan restaurant, there is Jacques Nelson is known throughout the Western Cape for delivery drivers. Because if you come onto Jordan Wine Farm and you're driving more than 20 kilometers an hour, as soon as you arrive at the back of my kitchen door, Jacques Nelson's there and he's going to recommend you. So if you're driving on the farm, make sure you don't drive more than 20 kilometers an hour.
We lifted it to 25, George. Up to 25.
Yes, that's dangerous, man.
Yeah, it's very, very dangerous.
Deadly. Well, it's been very entertaining. Thank you, George and Jacques, for putting together the entertainment for the evening. I have to say that while it's very nice having these virtual conversations, I can't wait to be sitting back in Restaurant Jardine, smacking a bottle of Jordan Chardonnay, eating a real bowl of risotto and not just talking about it. That's very exciting for me. And also to everyone out there that's joined us tonight, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for participating. To everyone that put the StreamYard episode 1 of Gourmet and Grape together, thank you for all your effort. And I just want to leave you with one thought, and I want to burn it into the back of your brain, that every time you think of Restaurant Jardine, just think the image of George walking through his garden at midnight, picking the herbs and picking the fruit, getting ready for your meal the next day. That, my friends, is priceless.
I can imagine a kilt. Do you wear a kilt? What?
Okay, just before we cut it, are you mobile? Just come in here. Before we cut it, guys, we've all got pots. We can all help out, man. Look at this. It's a pot of soup, man. This is going to feed 100 kids tomorrow. Everybody can make a pot of soup. Yeah. Everybody can make a pot of soup.
Bloody good effort. Well done, George. So I think we're out of time. Everybody, thank you to everyone that participated. Thank you to our dashing, good-looking guests, and thank you for everyone. I think we're going to say good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week for episode 2 of Gourmet and Grape. Watch your Facebook. It'll be coming to you shortly and hopefully regularly thereafter. To all of you,
good night.
Bye.